Seriously, we all come back and then Stu leaves.
Hey, I'm never too far away, my friend.
I love the production on his show.
Yeah. Especially.
Yeah. What's up, good people? I hope you're having a great Saturday afternoon. We've got something, of course, a little news to you guys. We're doing the fantasy football league. I've got to talk to my man Stu and find out exactly what we're calling this thing. I forgot. I guess it's the Jobu League and so on. But, you know, I'm kind of old school. I'm still trying to get my shit together, and I hope you guys are having fun with this. Pinned at the top is actually the link for our Discord channel. So if you are like Victor, what's up, Victor, and things, who definitely want to play, you need to definitely go over there and say, hey, raise my hand. I want to be part of the Jobu Sports Fantasy Football League. We'll be giving away some good merchandise. If you got questions and you're an idiot when it comes to fantasy football like I am, you can ask some questions and you will get it answered. So with that being said, you know I love the beat. You know I love my music. Shout out to my man Ron Oliver for coming up with the lyrics for our channel. But it's gonna kill itself. That is the almost. It's almost there. It's almost.
Wait for it.
It's almost done. Okay, actually maybe it's not. Shit. Okay, there it goes. I thought it was done a few moments ago. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday afternoon. We have my man. You know how we roll up in here. You know how we roll. We've got my crew that's up in here. We've got my man. What's up? Bogart, the San Francisco 49er, man. How you doing today, Bogart?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? Happy to be back. You know what I'm saying? Love what you guys got going here, and love to be able to contribute.
Well, that's great, of course. We have, of course, my main man, the Wolf. What's up, Wolf? A.K.A. D2 Stu. Stu?
Doing good, Mark. Looking forward to talking some real football and a little bit of fantasy football and hanging out with my friends, you guys, and everybody that's watching.
Well,
to answer your question, Mark, I'm a big believer in the KISS theory. So with the fantasy leagues, we're keeping it simple. It's the JSR fantasy football leagues.
Okay, wait. Did you say the KISS? Did you say KISS?
KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid.
Oh, I got you. Okay. What's up? What's up, Stacy? One of the lovely ladies in the house. I hope she's going to be playing fantasy football with us. Jet D's up here. And we got many Holmes. What's up? And then, of course, we have Roz, a.k.a. Getting Clowned by Aaron Rodgers. What's up, Roz?
That is just foul. That you would even start the day with Rodgers on the plate.
That's funny.
Okay, everybody, be kind to him because he's losing.
Just might leave the mask on.
You know, we talked about it before, and he literally hung up the phone on us. Okay, all right, okay. Aaron Rodgers aside, how are you doing today, Corey?
I am doing well. I'm here to help anybody if I can. Excited to hang with Bogart for the first time and hear what y'all got to say.
Well, I got to tell you, I like your shirt. Your shirt actually matches up real well with your background, although it kind of blends in. It's almost like you got a blue screen that just kind of blends in quite a bit. Your lighting is definitely better than last week, too, so a shout out to you for putting in the work, man. For those of you who are new on here and things, if you've not been on our Discord channel, my man Corey and, of course, Mr. Wolf, a.k.a. D2 Stu, are answering most of the questions that you have on fantasy football and taking care of the league because, let's face it, I don't know shit when it comes to running the fantasy football, but that's why I get people that are in the know. And definitely check out my man Corey as well as Bogart's channels. Bogart, of course, is a 49er fan. Before the show, I know my man Corey was a Packer fan. Okay,
he brought it up twice.
I know Corey was a Packer fan before the show, but with the Aaron Rodgers news, I don't know if that changes or not.
I'm a Packers owner.
Wearing a Dolphins shirt.
So, right, I'm a Dolphins fan at heart. Look, as far as being a Packers shareholder, like last thing I heard, Rodgers wanted us fired. So, you know, I don't know what to say.
Okay, can we touch on it for just a second here? Because, you know, we got football news. And
it's over.
You think it's over? You don't think that that maybe because there's kind of a cryptic message there where they had the picture, they're thinking that this might be the last dance, maybe, that he comes in and basically burns the motherfucker down for one more season, him and as well as Adam.
Can I have strong feelings on this. Go ahead. I'll wait. I think I strongly second that. He's gonna come back. It's just when he comes back. He's probably gonna show up like right before week 1, like a week before prior. You know what I mean? Gets into the practice so he can get in week 1. Or maybe even 2 weeks prior. He's not gonna play no preseason. You know what I'm saying? But he'll probably come back 2 weeks prior to week 1 because of the protocols. You know what I mean? Because I know at the end of the day, he hates this organization now. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he loves his guys. He's gonna go for one more. You know what I mean, because this is basically his last option. They both drew lines. He wanted to trade. They had I was upset that he didn't get traded to my Niners. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might know some guys. You know what I mean? I had some sources. You know what I mean? And so apparently the night before the draft, Aaron Rodgers went to sleep and woke up. Was supposed to wake up to news that he was traded to the Niners. Like, this was on the table. And I don't know who on the Packers organization pulled the plug on it, but that's what happened. And then since then he was livid. But that was like the last straw. Like, he was already going to deal. He was dealing with the Jordan Love draft pick already. You know what I mean? And this was like, all right, because he figured this is his way out. And then the Broncos thing didn't happen. You know what I mean? Now he's just trolling everybody. You know, but he'll come back week 1. I feel strong about it.
All right, Corey, your thoughts on that?
I'm actually on the flip side. I am of the camp believing that it's very simple for him to take a retirement.
Yeah.
Drop the money on the table. Walk away for a year when the salary cap goes up. The offer they gave him is going to look like penny crap compared to what every other team in the league is going to give him next year.
Yep.
I actually think it's a sharp move to keep Rodgers or trade or get, or with fantasy. You know, I don't think he's done. I will agree with that. But as far as him and the Packers, I don't know if I can really see him showing up this year at all.
I have to agree with you on that one.
Let's put it this way. I have no feelings because I have no clue if he would show.
And if you really want him to show, because basically he's going to come to stab you in the back. And the Packers were in a no-win situation that if you did bend over backwards and do this, you might as well say you're now the GM. Anything you want to do, Aaron Rodgers, is on you because you were literally letting him control. You got rid of Mike McCarthy because of him, whether it was time or not. He was instrumental in that happening. And now you're saying, okay, I want the GM fired. So who's next to be fired after that? You going to change the practice schedule? You know? You've got a 2-year-old kid that's gotten away with everything, and every time he cries, okay, here, let me give it to you so you shut up, okay? And they know that he knows
I would say they never gave him anything he cried for, though. You know what I mean? Like, Green Bay is historically an organization. They won't do the free agency thing. You know what I mean? Then they never really brought him weapons in free agency. You know, at most they brought back James Jones for him one time. You know what I mean? But then everyone's homegrown. They like to draft. They draft their weapons.
But hold on. But here's the thing, though. It's not like they're like the Jets and they've just fucked everything up.
Yeah,
you got a team that's been at the NFC Championship game twice.
But would you say?
I mean, I would say it's not like they're dog. It
was on Aaron Rodgers' arm.
Well, they didn't believe in him. They didn't believe in him on on that 4th down. If I remember right, there. Am I right, Corey?
You know what? I'm going to chuck that up to. I'm going to chuck that up to young and dumbass coaching. You know what I mean? His 2nd-year head coach. That's a dumbass call right there. You have Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? And Aaron Rodgers, he had no quarrels with making jokes about that. You know what I mean? Like, he was on Jeopardy. They made a joke about it, like, kicking the field goal. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that was a stupid move. Like, even he knew it's like, look, this is where we go for it. You know what I mean? And we die on that hill, not kick the field goal and hope for the best. You know what I mean? Give the ball back to the greatest of all time. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I'm gonna go on the other side of that, though, because Aaron Rodgers has had quite a few opportunities where he's been at the NFC Championship game, has only gotten in one time. And if we go ahead and look and say that the Cowboys, well, Dak Prescott sucks and he's losing games, and you got to point and look and say, Aaron Rodgers getting to the big game, you're great getting to that point, but you kind of pissed down your leg during that. And Corey's got this whole look where he's just like, I don't want to say shit.
Do you guys believe in bad luck?
Okay, I have a voodoo doll. What do you think?
Okay. All right.
I got a totem.
We're all sports fans, so to a degree we're gonna believe in some type of bad luck, right? What's up, son? You want to say hi? No. Okay. So check this out. The reason I bring this up is because Aaron Rodgers in Seattle. Hold on. Can you get it? You got to get him outside.
Let me give a shout out to Karen. What's up, Karen? What's up, Demetrius Holmes? Right. Okay.
My bad. Sorry for the I'm saying the fan. I'm in the studio, the home studio today. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, going back to what I was saying, I'm asking if y'all believe in bad luck because Aaron Rodgers in Seattle, you know what I'm saying, 2014 January. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They go into overtime. He loses the coin flip. He never gets the ball. You know what I mean? The following year, he's in the divisional against the Cardinals. Same thing. They go into overtime. He loses a coin flip, never gets the ball. You know what I mean? It against Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 2016, the Falcons they beat them in overtime to go to the Super Bowl to have the biggest loss in Super Bowl history or
that's
lead
what I'm
blow
saying.
or whatever.
So
right? I'm just saying, like, there's some instances here where it was literally 50-50 coin flip. You know what I mean? It could have went the other way because I'm the type that don't even like to make these arguments.
How many times has he gotten lucky too, though?
Exactly, because I was about to say there was that game against Dallas before that Falcons game. You know what I mean?
Well, the game in Dallas, actually, Dak Prescott actually had better numbers on it. It's just our defense couldn't do shit at the end. Of course, that ends up being that, Aaron Rodgers outdueled. No, he didn't. Dak had 3 touchdowns at 304 yards. So, he's got the reputation of being the greatest quarterback, and I'm not saying he's not great because he is, but you've got so much that's going on with him. I've had friends in the NFL that have had to work with him that say he's just an ass to work with, and they hate working with him. I would agree. And see, that's the problem with, especially now, to me, and Corey is not chiming in at all, but the problem is when you start to seem like you're selfish and above everybody else, your teammates start turning against you. And that's kind of what happened with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was kind of that diva in the locker room and stuff, and would blame guys for this and things like that. And at some point, they turn on you and start doing the good old lookout block. And that's when you hike the ball and you say, look out, because you ain't blocking shit for them.
Yeah. To have Corey's back here and to maybe transition, I'm pretty sure he'd rather talk about the Cowboys than the Packers right now. He's kind of like us with Dak's contract for a couple of years. He's so tired of this Aaron Rodgers stuff. That's that look on that face. Like,
what? We ought to put, what would look great there on Corey? Is just put some devil horns. I mean, seriously.
Listen, I will say this.
What's that?
What's sad about the Packers situation is that Aaron Rodgers clearly carries the team. Because when Aaron Rodgers is out the picture, Packers fans are like, it's all over. It's not like you have a team in place because you really do have players there. But you don't.
Hold it. I would disagree with that too because, see, this goes back to when the Packers won their Super Bowl. You guys had a great defense.
Exactly. But you guys have – listen, what the smartest thing the Packers did is get rid of Mike Penn. Because the last couple of years, their defense wasn't handling, especially against the run. You know what I mean? In a division where you got teams that are trying to run the ball against you. You know what I mean? Like it's the organization at best to me, you know what I'm saying, should have got everything Rodgers ever wanted.
Well, see, here's the thing.
They would have had more time.
Now this is
they should have drafted Justin Jefferson. They shouldn't have drafted Jordan Love. You know what I mean? Like, now and how about this? I'm a Niner fan. Shanahan, Mike LaFleur he's a disciple of Shanahan. They're arrogant in their way in the sense where it's a thin line between confidence and arrogance that they believe so much in their system. They're like, I could run this system without Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Shanahan. This is the first time he ever really got a quarterback of his own. They drafted Trey Lance. Before that, he's like, I could win with Kirk Cousins. I could win with Brian Hoyer. Like, they plug in whoever they can because that system's good. But you know what I'm saying? Jordan Love, before he got drafted to the Packers, he was a highly touted QB in that draft class. They're comparing him, his arm throwing motions to Patrick Mahomes. They're saying he's mad athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then he gets drafted behind Rodgers, and they're like, and it's just it overshadows everything. I'm not saying the Packers are going to be a great team, but they're still going to be a good team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
all right. So let's let some other guys chime in on this. I know you're real excited and everything else that your team is going to be good and you don't have the drama that some of the other ones have.
I have zero expectations for my team every year because I'm a real fan. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So back to this whole thing that fans, because they've been sold a bill of goods from, the ESPNs and things like that a team wins and lose solely by the quarterback. If you go back with Aaron Rodgers, like I was saying, and Corey was trying to chime in on that, they had a great defense, and people underestimate the value of a defense because you can look at Tom Brady. Every year they've won the Super Bowl, they've had a top 10 defense. Actually, I'll say a top 8, and sometimes it's been a number 1 defense. Everybody looks and says Tom Brady's great, but you know what? He only had to throw for
number 2 defense overall with the Buccaneers in most metrics.
Exactly. And so, you can't just say it's all on Aaron Rodgers or that it wasn't on on Aaron Rodgers, because it also has to look at the dynamics. Russell Wilson, his Super Bowl winning year, he only threw for 3,200 yards and 22 touchdown passes because he had beast mode and he had a number 1 defense.
You're kind of saying what I'm saying, though, because my point is that defense has been bad for years, and he has been carrying that team. You know what I mean? There's a reason they go into overtime because their defense can't stop the other teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so he's been taking them to the pinnacle. You know what I mean? Every time. Then imagine how mad you are if you are an Aaron Rodgers. You get to the pinnacle again, 1 game away, and then this guy makes a bonehead call like, let's kick the field goal and not even give him a chance. You know what I mean? That very well, like if your guys' version, that's probably the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers as a Packer. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, we can all agree. We all, I think, feel he's a diva, and both sides, from coaching staff,
I love him
the organization to Aaron, could have handled things differently. But here we are, and we can spend all day talking about it, but we don't know shit until the season actually gets here.
But it's so much fun to speculate.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay,
but I'm just looking at Roz, and he's done with Rodgers.
Right, he's definitely done. Susie, definitely. If you check the pinned comment on top, that's the Discord channel. Go in there, basically say, hey, I want to join that in there, and anybody else that wants to. Shout out to Stacy Stewart. David Wiley, what's up? He's ready to join the Fantasy Football League. He'll be with us on the trip. If anybody has
any questions today, Roz is keeping an eye on the chat. Fantasy Football.
Yeah, while you guys have been going, I've actually been hitting the Discord and the side chat. So I'm working.
And grinding your teeth. I can see you over there grinding your teeth. He's like, can we talk about something else? God damn it. Because
if anything pops up that you want to throw out for Bogart or somebody to answer.
Okay. All right. So any questions that you guys have on fantasy football, if you want to join our league, we're going to be doing, like I said, we're going to be doing the fantasy football draft on the 14th and the 21st. Is that what we're looking at?
Yep. And Saturday the 14th and the 21st. Around 2:30 p.m.
Chub 64, how you doing, man? Zeppelin.
Sorry, since we're Eastern on the show, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We're waiting to find out to confirm on some of the special guest players that'll be in the first league. We know Philly 500's playing. You'll be in that one. We're waiting to hear on a few.
What did you call him?
Philly 500?
No. What did you say before?
Special guest.
Oh, special guest. Okay. He's special.
He's
special. Okay.
But as soon as we get that figured out, then we'll know how many of the actual channel members we're going to backfill that league with. And then the subsequent leagues will be channel members, subscribers, Discord members, whoever. But we want to make sure that it's channel members that are in there with the guys like Philly 500 and you in that first one.
Chub 64, how you doing? Madden 1975 says, I love my Cowboys family, but do you believe that we're going to have a smooth NFL season? This COVID crap is going to screw it up. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I don't think so. I
would say raise the morale. That's what I would say to that. Raise the morale. I mean, here's the thing. What's going on with the vaccination mandating and stuff like that? Like it's. Now you're talking about personal beliefs with some people now. You know what I mean? So like this show is going to roll on. It did last year. And if there's people that like don't, that have issues with it, the show's going to roll on without them. That's just how it's going to be.
The NFL gives no fucks about your personal agenda. But
not getting away in the
hold on. Let me back up here for a second here. I'm going to back up here for a second. Let's be clear here. So let me understand. You're saying I don't want to get a shot because it might be dangerous, yet you're going to play football when we know about head trauma.
Yeah, but maybe
right?
Maybe it's the lack of education.
You're going to play football where you've seen guys get their ankles snapped and literally paralyzed, but a shot is too much.
Here's what I'm saying though. Like, cause I got vaccinated because, I just had a newborn, I mean, that, I already had 3 kids. So that's my 4th kid. And, they're all fairly young. So I was opposed to getting a vaccine cause I just never got the flu shots. I figured like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. I just curve and do all the protocols and wear masks and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Stay away from it. Right. But, my lady's a nurse. She got the vaccine when she was pregnant. She told me I got to get vaccinated. And that's one of those instances in life for everyone that's listening. Happy wife, happy life. That's why I did it ultimately.
Hold time out. To be clear, finding a happy wife is like finding a unicorn.
Hey. Well, you know what, babe? I know you're watching. I love your unicorn.
I mean, you can get them to smile and be kind of content, but a happy wife, I've been looking for that for 18 years here. Okay, I'm in my mid-30s, so maybe I can be disillusioned for now.
I was hoping not to touch that COVID question with the 10th.
Hold.
In regards to the season playing out, NFL's going to let that play out. We're in shock a little bit. Some of the players,
you know what they did.
But once the dust settles and the season's going, we'll be good.
They lost a lot of money in these TV contracts last year and moving things around. Like lost a lot of money in attendance, and they lost some money. Period.
It doesn't matter though.
But this is what they do.
Bogart. It doesn't matter.
They signed another
Bogart. You're Bogart in the conversation.
Bogart.
I'm just trying to say.
Hold on. No, just back up here for a second. You don't seem to understand that what they had in place that is literally going to make every franchise within 3 years worth between $8 and $10 billion, and the Cowboys right now only worth 5.7, is the gambling contract. Okay.
Oh yeah.
They're going to double the gate revenues, and all they have to do is stick the hand out and take it. They're not even managing it. That's just that side money that's coming in. The television contracts, because you still have DirecTV's Sunday Ticket up on there. Amazon's still trying to bid for it. That shit's going to go through the roof. That's why they're already
that's why
literally the projections are by 2026 that the salary cap is going to be $500 million for every team. Yep. So you can say they didn't really lose any money. In fact, it was better because here's the thing. No, here's actually the thing you got to understand though, Bogart, is because the NFL was one of the few things that were going on. The television networks realized the true value of it because they didn't have all that stuff. And people were locked in, and it's like, damn, football is some good shit. Literally, of the top 20 programs, I think 15 for last year was all football. Okay? Now, they're also looking at right now a possibility of two teams being in Europe because Germany is now interested in carrying games as well. So it's not a matter of they're hurting. They are actually balls to the wall right now and fuck the bullshit. We don't care about the players. You can smoke some weed and all that and everything else and get gaga. We just want to get paid. That's it. We're going to have 17 games. If you guys have short careers, screw it. We don't care. We're just out here to make a boatload of money.
And
Go ahead.
I was just going to say how this applies to fantasy and to get off of back onto some football with the COVID situation. Add extra IR spots to your league. That way, if somebody has COVID, you got that IR spot to put them on until they get back.
Right.
Hopefully, we don't have a problem with it, but that's for fantasy purposes. That's what we do is just expand the.
Have the IR spots.
Fan, send me. I think if you have my phone number, Zeppelin fan, text me, or if not, go ahead and email me again about that. We'll definitely. I mean, guys, this is like my man Zeppelin fan has a Tom Landry autographed football. Tom Landry, okay, he's my main man who got me the banner of autographed by Tom Landry. So it's like hold on.
That's one of my favorite pieces.
That's one of those ones where everything needs to stop right now. So definitely. Zeppelin fan. Email me about it. I remember we talked about that before, and what we were talking about before, I'm cool with. Anyway, sorry to break that. But let's get on to
catching it.
The
Can
Cowboys.
up there?
Corey, you were having the breaking news from training camp. You had two thoughts of the first two stories that were coming out.
Well, yeah, the only two pieces that I've seen,
right?
Directly from people watching the practices is one, and I threw it in the chat as well, is one is after two practices, Dak is looking 100% and said he feels great. The other one is observers, okay? That means I don't have names. Observers are saying that Zeke looks like he did as a rookie, and if the season started today, he would be running 30 touches a game.
I can believe that. People feel
I don't know
Zach
if I
Martin
believe
looking
that,
good too.
Tyron Smith is actually looking really good. But people forget that last year that Zeke actually around the 15th of June actually had COVID. And you remember seeing him by the end of the beginning of July, where he was kind of like, I'm okay, and I haven't been working. And you don't know how much that really affected him trying to be in shape. He's, I can't guarantee he's going to have a great season or anything, but clearly he's in better shape now than he was this time last year after coming back from COVID. So hopefully, hopefully the teams. I know Jerry said that the team is close to 80%, and that most of the people are going to be getting them. The NFL seems to have dropped the gauntlet on, if your team is the reason why a game is lost, you mother humpers are going to pay for it, and you're not going to get paid yourself. So they're going to try and do everything they can because, again, they want the money. So I actually feel that we'll have a better shot this year. I mean, we made it through last year, which was far worse.
So the point I was trying to make about the TV thing, though, why they're putting their foot down like this with the they want everyone to get vaccinated, this, that, and the third, is because they're not going to reschedule no games no more. Right. I mean, now it's just outright. If you get if you get popped and you test dirty for the Rona, they're going to shut that whole. You have to forfeit that game. You know what I mean?
Okay. You know what, Toby?
Oh
no. He said Dalton had COVID. Where's his excuses? Okay, well,
listen.
Dalton was
Lamar Jackson played
before he had
Jackson,
COVID. Jackass.
Lamar Jackson coming off his MVP year, he didn't look good. Then he gets COVID, comes back, he looks like he did as MVP. It's just crazy. Well, Cam Newton
was the opposite. Looked good. He looked good before COVID, and he came back. He was terrible.
And it was ass. I mean, listen.
But it affects different people differently.
I'm not an athlete, but I have had to work when I had the flu.
What's up?
You know what I mean? Like, that's shitty. Imagine running around with a flu, let alone the corona. You know what I mean?
This is me circling left again to get off that Rona news. But if Zeke looks like if he performs like he's looking right now, with the offensive line staying healthy, Dak back, and those receivers, not to mention the two tight ends. Fantasy purposes, especially if you started drafting early, he was a really good value. Right now, he's been creeping up. I think I've been seeing about top 5 to 7.
Yep, as I say, he's in the mid-first round. But he's a guy that should be a top 5. But he's coming off a quote unquote bad year, and that's not even a bad year.
Go get him, Lola.
People are so spoiled with Zeke because he came out the gate firing, as a rookie 2016. You know what I mean? So to have a quote unquote bad year, because that just means that he wasn't a top 5 guy, and people,
Hearing that affirmation from a San Francisco 49ers fan, that's one of the things I love about fantasy football, because we may hate each other's teams, but to hear some 49ers say the Cowboys Bogart.
I can compartmentalize things. For example.
Let me ask this. Let me time out for a second here. Shank Johnson, our resident Washington fan, I believe it is, wants to know if he should draft Zeke.
Yeah, but where?
Where?
I need a little more context.
I'm just asking the question.
You definitely should. Yeah, to answer that question in a vacuum, yes, you should draft him. But over who is the question? You know what I mean? Because I still have guys over Zeke that are going to produce higher. That could produce higher. You know what I mean?
And then also comes to roster construction and making your team. Like, there may be a guy that consensus says is better than Zeke, but if you're a diehard Cowboys fan. I'm
not taking Zeke over CMC or Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry or Alvin Kamara.
Actually,
you know what? I'll take him over Alvin Kamara. With all the news with Michael Thomas and everything, I'm not fucking with excuse me. I'm sorry. We're not supposed to cuss.
Who you think you are, Jerry Jones?
Best player available is how you want to attack the whole draft. I'm just saying, if you do,
but so to me,
you do go a little bit higher on a reach for your guy, or for any fan base for that matter.
It's not about talent sometimes in fantasy. If I'm splitting hairs, like for example,
reach a couple rounds to get your guy.
I think all around Zeke is an all around better running back than Derrick Henry. But as a pure runner, I'm giving that to Derrick Henry. But Zeke actually got some hands. You know what I'm saying? He's not just a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield. You could move him around, but they really don't. But that you could, you know what I mean? Because they have, we have seen guys like Jason Garrett use them that way. But in fantasy, I'm looking for the guys that's either guaranteed a workload heavier, like a Derrick Henry. Like Derrick Henry, he's the focal point of that offense.
How you doing, Ron? What's up? But see, here's the thing that I know nothing about fantasy football, but you may end up looking at a player like Zeke and say, is this offense with Mike McCarthy, who loves the pass, is it going to be that he's going to get less touches because you do have so many? You got CeeDee Lamb, who they're talking about moving all over the field now, as opposed to only really running him mostly in the slot because they didn't really have enough time to really teach him a lot being a rookie.
Exactly.
You got Michael Gallup, Gallup, who's going to be trying to make a name for himself because whether it's going to be at the Cowboys or somebody else, you got Amari Cooper, and you got and then you got Tony Pollard. So you look at that. There's only so many balls to go around. So Zeke's fantasy value to me would seem like it could hurt because it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. We're going to try and keep you guessing on where this ball is going, as opposed to just saying, as his rookie year, we're going to just run the damn ball like crazy with them. I mean, that's what I mean. Like I said, I don't know anything about fantasy football, but that's the way I would kind of look at it.
You know a ton about
that's perfect
just by knowing football.
That's perfect.
Talk about what we look at.
Because fantasy football is all projection, like what we think, right? And we what we think is what we base it on the data we have.
Troy, no, we're going to be doing the draft. The draft will be on the 14th and the 21st of August after the Hall of Fame. So,
hey, Bogart, let Ross cut in real quick. He's had his hand.
No. Yeah, I wasn't saying anything.
Right. Yeah, look, I'm literally wasn't talking. Like we're in school here. Damn it!
I literally wasn't saying anything.
Okay. No.
You're good.
No, Mark was talking. I just wanted to throw in real quick while y'all are going.
Yeah.
This came through earlier as well, but Jaguars just put their second cornerback on the COVID list. And as of right now, the Titans just put Bud Dupree on the PUP for training camp.
Well, okay. I expect that.
Life.
I expect that because he's coming off the ACL,
right?
And he's a veteran, so you know what I mean. He's going to get all the way back before he's on the field.
Shank Johnson says he's got okay. So Shanks says he's got the second pick, and he knows.
I can't do Zeke with the second pick in any draft.
Yeah, that would seem to me that'd be a little bit high. But
that's way too high.
Yeah.
You want to give yourself the best
Birdman, that is my man Bogart, the 49er fan. Birdman is an Eagle fan, but he seems to be cool. He seems to be cool. He seems to be all right.
Shout out to Birdman.
He's more the exception than the rule of Eagle fans. You know what I mean?
I think that's what we all are as a collective. You know what I mean?
Mike Dobbs, right? Mark, dialing back to your analysis of what our offense is going to look like this year. Talent, opportunity, and situation. Zeke, we know Pollard's going to get a little bit more work, but Zeke's the main back attached to one of the most potent offenses in the league. I do expect Dak to have big numbers. I expect Cooper and CD to have big numbers. And Gallup's going to have his pop-off game. So you're right on all that. But Zeke is the running back attached to that high-powered offense. And the goal line opportunities, which we know Zeke will get the goal line opportunities. Those 6-point touchdowns add up. And he's got, just like CEH is a little bit underrated out there in Kansas City because he's another running back that had a quote-unquote bad year last year. But it was a COVID year. It was his rookie year. Andy Reid, you have to work up that trust with the rookie. They didn't have training camps. Plus, the offensive line wasn't that great, but this year they got a great offensive line. It's one of the best offenses in the league, and he's the young, talented running back that's going to get the work in that offense. So those type of guys, your Kamaras, your Henrys, all those guys,
I'm taking Zeke. I'm taking Zeke over Barkley. I'm taking Zeke over Kamara.
Barkley, that broke down mother humper. Okay.
So nobody really knows, but all you can do is put together. And you say you don't know fantasy football, but by the time we get done,
I'll take Tyreek Hill.
Realize how much you really do know.
I would take
more about
Tyreek Hill
football
over
than most of the average fantasy football fans out there. Most of the average fantasy football fans out there, they're just playing in a work league. They check stats every now and then, listen to YouTube podcasts from time to time. They don't really know. You from playing, hell, you played in college with Charles Haley. You from playing in your wealth of knowledge with football, all you have to do is watch the games, apply what your eyes and your knowledge tell you, and it adds out. Once you see the first scores coming in that first week and the numbers start to you start to build a mental image in your head of how those stats rack up, enough.
I could simplify it for you. I could simplify it.
Go ahead.
You already know football. So the one thing you really got to learn in fantasy is the ADP. Just learning the average draft position of all the players, because that's molded by the publics. The public drafting, it puts players in a certain order. So you'll know when to get the value or not. Like you'll be like, okay, I really like CeeDee Lamb. Doesn't mean I'm getting CeeDee Lamb in the first round. I'm going to get CeeDee Lamb goes in the 4th or 5th round, but I'm going to get him in the 4th just to make sure I got him. Right. You know what I mean? Because he has
Birdman wants to know the name of your channel. Tell Birdman how to find
you. The GMM network. So we actually took a 3-month hiatus, and we're coming back live July 31st, Saturday. So the time's to be determined. Shout out to all my homies, Fantasy Fornicator. Shout out to my homie Fantasy Football Hustler, and my co-host Steamboat Joe. But us as a collective, we are hosting a podcast. It's called The Real Fantasy Playmakers. It's also available on all streaming platforms. But check us out on YouTube, the GMM Network. Hey, give me money.
Okay.
On the Jobu Discord channel, Mark, the Jobu's Fantasy Football Gurus, me and Roz are available at all times. Well, mostly all times, every day. Bogard and our guy Alex, the Fantasy Football Hustler, they're guest content creators that'll be in there time to time too, up and answer questions. We've got the public chat, which again is for anybody, any subscriber, any fan of any team. Come in, talk football, ask fantasy questions. But once the season gets going, especially, and we're a little bit busier in there, we're not going to have time to catch up with everything in the public chat. The channel members, have access to the fantasy football rooms where they can ask questions about dynasties, trade questions, waiver wire, that kind of thing. And that's where we'll make sure that we pay attention to everybody and help out with. Doesn't have to be a Jobu league. It could be any league that they play.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Now, again, and I know this is all strategy of trying to figure out what a team is going to be, because if you have a great quarterback, of course, then your receiver is going to have better numbers. If a team is, more running centric, then of course the running backs are going to have better numbers, I would assume. But the way I'm sitting here looking at it, you got to figure out the philosophy of the team. And if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, the way I look at it right now, with the weapons that I have, I don't want to be a ground and pound team when I've got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. But I want to be an aerial assault.
That's a testament to having McCarthy there, though.
Right? Who we already know is a guy who loves to pass. Sets. Okay, so if I'm actually Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore, I'm looking at this and saying I'm going to use the pass to set up the run. I'm going to go if my team is on. How many teams in the league can keep up with them scoring?
Listen,
there's very few.
Kellen Moore.
Hold on. Let me.
Kellen Moore's a quarterback.
Oh, right, but hold on. Let me finish my thought, my
quarterback.
Man.
They're going to throw it.
Let me finish my thought here. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, my philosophy, and especially the changes they've made on defense, they're younger, they're faster, and you can look at them with them trying to sign Malik Hooker. What I'm saying is I'm going to be a track meet. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to try and score every fucking play and dare anybody to keep up with me, and have a defense that's going to be able to rush the passer and be young and quick, and we're going to wear you out. That would be my philosophy on there, because I look at Washington, they couldn't keep up with you scoring, I don't think. We know Danny, brother, can you spare a dime, can't. We know the Eagles can't. So you got your division locked down if you're running it as a track meet. So for me, looking at that, I look at those guys and say, they should be pretty good fantasy-wise. Corey? Yeah. What do you think of that?
Go ahead, Bogart. Everybody knows how I feel about it.
They're all. Listen, I have Dak for, I have Dak penciled in for close to 5,000 passing yards. You know what I mean? We're probably looking at like 650 pass attempts. You know what I mean? And Zeke will still get a fat workload. Like they're probably gonna be at the top of the league in total plays run on offense. You know what I'm saying? But all this is to mask the fact that they have an ass defense. And like they do have on paper, you guys have a ferocious front. Like, but you can only play the way you want to play if you have a lead. So like you said, it's got to be a track meet. You're gonna have to run up the scoreboard.
Right.
To have any kind of chance, because your defense is never going to be able to stop anything. I mean,
but see, here's the thing, though. They don't have to.
Right now.
Listen, if that defense can get a takeaway in a couple of stops,
that defense is going to get some takeaways.
They're going to get a lot of them because they're going to be aggressive.
Dan Quinn as a DC is phenomenal. As a head coach, he's ass.
When he's holding Parsons, oh boy, it's going to be fun.
Well, I think about the way they've attacked as far as their D-backs and stuff. Okay, Diggs had 3 interceptions last year, which was great as a rookie, and considering he missed some games in the middle of
he was heavily targeted too.
He was, but you start looking at Demonte Kazee, who had 10 interceptions between 18 and 19, and Malik Hooker had, I want to say, 7 his first 3 years. So you've got some guys
Hold on, fellas, I got to bring my little man upstairs.
Okay, no problem. You've got some guys that can take the football away. And you're now, instead of being a, bend, don't break, give a 5-7 yard cushion, they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be going and pushing up the middle. They're going to be going after the quarterback, and that's where you get those takeaways. If they get those takeaways, you don't have to, you can lose some yardage. But if you can get some takeaways, that's gold.
After what we suffered last year with what we've got, it's exciting seeing what's going on right now.
You mean the days of confused defense?
If we do sign Malik Hooker, which it sounds like we are, it's just a matter of, I'm guessing, some kind of stupid COVID protocol before he can actually come in.
Right.
And sign. I mean, it's going to be really exciting. The young guys that we brought in, I'm excited to see them, especially Parsons. As it applies to fantasy with IDP, I've got Parsons everywhere. I've bypassed.
IDP is individual defensive players.
Yes, but my most thing that I'm looking forward to the most. Actually, I'll save it till there's Bogart right there. But to touch on what I'm excited about the most, and there's a lot to be excited about on that defense. I want to see Randy Gregory with a full off season. No pressure about suspensions, nothing. Just finally got his head right. He can do what he's got to do, and he's out there looking like he's going to take head off.
I know why he got his head right, or I know how.
Pass the Dutchie from the left. Oh no, but here's the thing. No, hold on.
Real quick, fellas, I gotta go, man, because I gotta get my girl's tapping me in with the newborns. Like she needs.
No problem. I gotta
cut
Tell
it short.
everybody where to find you. The GM Network.
The GMM Network on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And you can find me on all social media platforms at the GMM Network. And sorry again, fellas, man. It's just like
not a problem.
It got kind of hectic.
All right, we'll catch you the next time, man.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Oh yeah, I'm coming back. You guys can't get rid of me now.
Season's almost here.
Now back to this weed thing, because see, people have the impression that Randy Gregory's out there smoking all this weed and everything else. But see, I actually look at it a little differently, because we had Chris Long, NFL Man of the Year from the Eagles and New England and so on, who admitted that after he left football that he smoked a lot of weed. He just knew, around the 21st of April, you're going to get tested for weed. So a month before, you take over-the-counter medication, you stop smoking weed, you get that test, you're good for the rest of the season. The thing for Randy Gregory was he got tested positive at the combine, which put him in the NFL protocol, which means you get tested every single week. And once you get tested, so, you get busted 3 or 4 times, in one season. That sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, you're getting tested every week. That's 52 weeks in a year. If you're talking about Long and most guys that are probably smoking a hell of a lot more than Randy Gregory, it's kind of, you see my point here?
Yeah,
I guarantee he was not smoking any more weed than anybody else was. He just got caught like an idiot the first time, and now you got to deal with it. Yeah.
The thing that I hate when I hear people say, What he could have done all this, and he lost it all because of weed. And they throw out that lazy perception that he's just whatever they want to say about him, a stoner or whatever their mental impression is of why he's smoking weed. But with Randy, he was mostly doing that for mental health issues and anxieties. And one of the reasons that I'm excited as a fan to see him back on the field is because of what he can do with football. But I identify with the mental health issues and the anxieties myself. And so I'm not calling him a hero or anything like that, but it really bothers me that I understand because I can fully, I never used to be this way. But when I was 27 and able-bodied and I owned my bar, I was 200-300 people deep in the bar. DJ wasn't there. I was in the booth. I'd bring shots out to everybody. Let's go. But when I hit the wheelchair back in 2006, more and more, I was less able to get out and do social events and being around people. And I built up subconsciously social anxieties that are very real. And if I don't do something to take care of them, which the easiest thing for me is to pass that Dutch to the left-hand side.
There you go.
And 5 minutes later, my back, because I already have shoulder problems with the wheelchair and the transfers and years of wear and tear. When I get those anxieties, my whole back tenses up and it's like it's on fire and it hurts so bad. My stomach gets upset, but I can smoke a bowl.
Ron
later, I'm good to go. And so with Randy, to bring it back to football, I'm excited for him. I'm glad that he doesn't have to worry about, he can do what he needs to do to keep himself right. He seems like he's in a really good place mentally, and it's exciting as a fan to see what he's going to do on the field.
Right.
So anybody that's hating on Randy for why he had the path that he had, get over yourself and enjoy what he's about to do for you on the field.
Let me give a shout out to Ron Biz, his daughter, it's her birthday today, and he's watching this. Happy birthday to your daughter. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I agree with you 100% that, this is the first time he's actually had an off season in a training camp. We've only scratched the surface. I know he only has like 10 sacks in his career, but you think that he came in week 6 last year, and, the way the NFL is structured, you only have 14 padded practices before the season starts, and you only have 11 during the season. So, and they really aren't practices, you know what I mean? Not like, if you're an old school guy like me where we had 2-a-days that are full live, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and a special team practice in between. This stuff is camp cupcake.
Yeah. It's tying it into fantasy football. We're not doing IDP leagues for the Jobu leagues because we want to keep it where everybody that's new can have fun with it. Don't want to throw too much on them. But with the IDP leagues, you have a deeper roster and you have to start a linebacker, a defensive lineman, a defensive back, and usually you have a couple flexes. Randy Gregory is a guy that I've got late in most of my dynasty IDP drafts. Mm-hmm. So that if he does do what I expect him to do, I got him for free in the draft, and he's going to be in my starting rotation every week.
That's great. Okay. Corey, what you got to add, man? You've been so quiet today.
I got nothing to add on.
I got something.
I pay attention to football. They're unless their lives interfere with the game, I stay out of it.
Okay. I got something for you to add.
But I understand everybody, like we all have opinions and we have personal experiences. Like I understand Stu's stuff. We talked a lot, him and I. We talk on the phone regularly. And I have my own issues from the military, but when it comes to the game, I try to just tune it out because they all have great stories,
mm-hmm.
and everybody on the planet has stories.
Oh my God, yes.
So Stu's got a story, you've got a story, I got a story. So I get it, and it's great, and I watch it, but like Bogart said about compartmentalizing, I separated from the game for myself. Like I'm watching the game for the game. And I learn the stories about the people, and I actually read more about them or see interviews
mm-hmm.
aside from the game. And that's just kind of how I do it.
If the two intermix, that's where the game can be ruined for you because you're letting outside noise interfere with the product on the field that you're trying to enjoy every week.
Well, we have some breaking news here with from training camp. Tyron Smith joined Lyle Collins' press session to ask a pressing question. What's your secret, man? You're looking lean. Is it the catfish? And Lyle Collins said, man, I'm staying away from that fried catfish. So that must be a secret that he looks definitely lean and trim and ready to go this season. In fact, I look at Tyron Smith, too. Tyron Smith has got that six-pack going right now. And, this is where I'm sitting here thinking that these guys are going to be doing a lot of pass coverage. Pass blocking. I think that this team is if I'm the head coach or if I'm the offensive coordinator, I don't want to throttle this offense. I just want to play.
Been working with Dak.
Yeah.
So that's how it.
What would y'all say if I told you that you've already seen this season with Dak?
If I've already seen it.
If I just, let's just say right now.
You got a time machine over there?
24 July 2021. If Dak ends the season with the same stats as you saw in 2019, would you be surprised?
2019? I would think they would be better than 2019. 2019 wasn't awful by any stretch of the imagination. We're talking
2019. Dak threw for 4,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, ran for 3 more with 200 yards on the ground.
Right. And I don't have a problem with that.
So if let's say Dak hits 35 touchdowns, that's 2 more than he had.
Yeah.
If he hits 5,000 yards, like Bogart is saying, that's only 100 more in the air. Realistically, that's what I'm saying.
He was on pace for 6,500, which would have been 1,000 yards more than the NFL record. Now, I'm not saying that would end up being the case. However, here's the thing that's kind of – no, I'm just saying. No, but think about some of the teams that you're playing going down the stretch as opposed to those first games. You played the Rams, not a terrible defense. You play Seattle's defense was ass, but you played the Browns. Now, Atlanta's was ass. And then you played the Giants. I'm not saying that he would have been because, sometimes guys start out like Aldon Smith had, 3 sacks in the first game, and you thought, oh, my God, he's going to get that bonus at 12 sacks or whatever. But when you start thinking about facing teams like, Cleveland, Cincinnati, the Eagles, the Giants, and things, he could have probably kept up a pace that would have definitely got him over 5,500 yards.
What? Do you got
and also too, Ross, got to add one thing too. There's one more game too.
With Dak for me,
look at that.
I'm stealing this from you, Ross.
Is the screen froze? Is it froze?
What's that?
No.
He's just trying not to yell at me for stealing his mic from him. But with fantasy purposes, I said when we were doing that mock draft with Dak, anywhere an analyst, expert, we're not experts. We're just guys that know a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. But when you're listening to anybody that says, I can take Pat Mahomes here, I'll take Dak happily there to make sure that I got Dak. Does that mean I think Dak is a better quarterback than Pat Mahomes? No, it doesn't. But last year, to your point, he was the number 1 overall quarterback in points per game. That said, our defense was trash, so we had to be.
Right.
We're hoping that is improved, so that'll come down some. But with Dak and all those weapons and everything you're saying, with Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, Mike McCarthy, we're going to be throwing the ball all over the yard. Dak's going to have a fantastic season.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to sneak the question in there with Roz. When Bogart brought up that 5,000 yards, he touched on Dak, he touched on Zeke. Roz, break down what you think the ball's going to look like in those 3 wide receivers as it applies to the pass catchers on our team for fantasy and football in general, which is basically the same thing.
Well, first, I just wanted to say that Eastside Herald said hello.
Oh, boy. Hey, Eastside, how you doing?
How any Texan fan thinks they have a right to say shit. I just don't understand.
How's Davis Mills looking down there, Eastside?
Oh, Lordy.
He's looking like he's going to be the backup to Jalen Hurts.
Now you're going in a whole direction that people don't even know. We'll get on that in a minute, but break down these wide receivers for me.
Actually, I have a fantasy question that now, looking at the way things may be evolving, should I get Jordan Love on a fantasy team?
If we're talking in these redraft leagues, you can maybe throw a dart in them later after you've already built up your kind of core of your team, your starters, maybe. In Dynasty, people have already been taking stabs at him and stashing him. But as we get more of this nonsense going on in Vegas and people like Roz out there thinking in the way that they do, that he might retire for this season, come back next year to get traded, then yeah, Jordan Love is a great pickup to have in case that happens.
Look, let's be realistic. What I do, y'all you're just never gonna like me this year.
Who said we liked you before this year?
So nothing's gonna change.
No, we love you, man. We love you, dog. You don't play with you.
But I love the film stuff. I'm not good at scouting, but I can see good players, right? Mm-hmm. I'm huge into analytics. I'm huge into understanding the game, the rotations, the schemes, the play calling. And what I can tell you is since 2013, when Peyton Manning set the passing record, every single year we have had he had the record. And then every single year. Every other year, we have had less than 35 touchdowns by the passing leader of the NFL. And last year, we had a peak season, with Aaron Rodgers at 48. Now, if that comes down, 35 is a limit. Now, we did talk about, Dak running touchdowns in, but when I said his 35 touchdowns outlandish, and y'all said, well, I think he's going to be better. Well, you got three great receivers, right? And we've seen this in the past once before, where you get all these great receivers and you're throwing 1,000 yards to each one.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to hit that end zone, and you got a multi-million-dollar man just coming off of a major injury, and you've got Zeke looking and playing as good as he is, I'm just saying that we might see more of the rushing than we would like as far as the scoring.
Well, the other way you can look at this, too, is if the Cowboys do come out balls to the wall, we're just going to try and light up the scoreboard, and they're successful, then you're looking at the second half saying, we're trying to end this game, and we're just going to pound the rock and just eat up the clock, in which case he would end up getting a lot of carries, too.
Which, to come back full circle to Zeke, is why he is a good, solid pick in that top 5 to 7 running back range.
Right.
Yeah, Stu. See, but you didn't finish the circle yet, did you, Stu? You jumped to the Zeke, which is great, but you skipped a piece of the circle. And Mark, this is one of those things I do is Vegas lines. Over 50 points in a game, in any given week, you want to be in on that game for fantasy purposes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say, just hypothetically, the Cowboys are a 50-point game over under throughout the entire year, 17 games.
Right.
How many touchdowns does it take to win that game if, let's say, 50 points is scored? You only need 3 or 4.
Yeah, you need 4 to be at least
Zeke
half of the 50, right.
Then if you don't give one to the
receivers,
tight end, then you got 3 guys are going to spread those touchdowns. I'm just saying, you got a great team, but I see the team being something we haven't seen in a long while, which is 100% balanced.
Yeah.
Where they're going to run the ball whenever they want.
Can I steal that?
And they're going to throw the ball whenever they want. Can I steal that
from you, Corey?
Huh?
Can I steal that from you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Right.
I mean, look, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I never have been. Matter of fact, it's still not a catch to me. But the point is, the point is that for fantasy purposes, and for actual real life NFL winning, they have an opportunity that their team is built the way it is supposed to been for every single team.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't like that, that's the truth. And sometimes, like Bogart talking about compartmentalizing, sometimes you just got to face the music.
Yeah.
And they're going to compete. Eastside Herald, suck it up. They're going to be a challenge. Right?
See, it's nice to have somebody that's not us telling Eastside to just.
Because our own fans
he said
will talk
delusional,
about how much we're ass.
Figured.
Eastside, you're welcome to play in the fantasy leagues with us. Just let us know in Discord. I know you're in there.
Yeah. What's up, West Rock? How are you doing, man? So we've been talking about basically going-ons of the Dallas Cowboys as well as the fortunes of the Green Bay Packers, and getting ready for our fantasy draft that we'll be doing come August 14th and 21st. If you are interested, the link is pinned at the top. My man D2 Stu, a.k.a. Mr. Wolf, along with my man Corey, who's a little upset right now because of Aaron Rodgers having a hissy fit, will answer questions that you have if you're an idiot like me when it comes to fantasy football. So I'm truly blessed to have these guys here working with us as we get ready for the season.
Does anybody have any questions out there for us, Roz, that you've seen come across?
We had the 102 thing earlier. I did mention, honestly, on my lists, and understand something, Mark, I don't actually do projections. It's a good practice. It's a good tool.
Uh-huh.
But I have so many inputs on any given day that, like, it's almost like I've already seen so many projections. I have no way that I could objectively make my own.
Okay.
So I don't pretend that I can do that. But the projections actually put Dalvin Cook, with the problems going on in New Orleans and Kamara slipping a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Dalvin Cook almost shows up as the 102 right now. And personally, that's the weirdest part is I trust the numbers, but at the same time, I don't have that gut feeling that says Cook is actually going to be that good.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, you're talking, again, just like Bogart said, he's got to pass Derrick Henry. He's got to pass Nick Chubb if Nick Chubb gets the primary carry roles and keeps Kareem Hunt off the field. Now, if they split again,
we're talking redraft back.
But you got to pass Zeke with Dalvin Cook, and I don't honestly see that happening. So, anyways, that's the only question we had so far as football.
I've got a question because I don't know if you guys can see this from the screen up here, but behind me I see Team 1, Team 2, all the way through Team 10, and all the draft picks in here and stuff. How do you keep up with all of your teams and all of these numbers as well as working on this stuff? Are you like a Rain Man or something? You got to be a freaking genius.
That's go ahead, Russ.
Well, technically, according to the IQ score, I am, but
okay, all right.
But it's a weird thing. I've spent my life in the Army and all, but I've always been I can learn anything. I may not master something, but I can learn anything if I'm given the tools. And once I learn something, the questions that formulate, I go further. Football is such a love for me that there isn't anything where I stop learning it. So as far as keeping track, my 33 leagues, I have a spreadsheet for players, shares, rankings, projections of mine. And then I also have individual spreadsheet pages for each of those teams to track past activity of trades, draft picks, transactions, etc. If a team pisses me off with a trade offer, I make a note in that too.
That's one thing in fantasy. If you're going to make a trade offer, at least communicate with that person. Try to make it a fair offer. You'll hear people talk about wanting to get over and quote unquote win the trade. Me and Roz are more the mindset of making a trade that makes sense for both sides. Like if I need running back help and he's strong at wide receiver, and or he's starting at running back, but he's weak at wide receiver, and I've got a wide receiver. We try to make it balance out. When you go for those trades where you're quote unquote winning the trade, oftentimes you can leave a sour taste in that person's mouth, and that trade window is shut. You won't have that person trading with you again, which is really important in dynasty leagues. Redraft leagues, not as important, but in dynasty leagues, you really want to, because that's a 3, 4, 5, 6+ year window. You want to make sure that you're not leaving a bad taste in people's mouths along the way.
Can we rewind for just a second? Because there is one thing I forgot to mention.
What's that?
In answering your question, Mark.
What's that?
When we did the mock draft the other night, remember we got to a certain point and you're like, well, you said, you're good at tight end, you're good at quarterback, you're good at this, you're good at that. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right? I got all these extra picks. Well, an easy way to keep track of many teams is what we call set it and forget it.
Okay.
So in this particular year, Team 2 had Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook. Those two running backs, they set and forget, which means they never go back and look and check. They don't have to. They worry about, what are my receivers this week? What are my quarterbacks this week? Things like that. So when you have a lot of teams, you have that core. And that core tells me I don't have to worry about the fact, oh, wow, look at that. I have Cam Akers on the bench and he just tore his Achilles.
Right.
Well, if he's on my bench, then I'm not sweating it because he was never my set and forget.
Okay.
So that's where drafting helps set the foundation of the building. Because if you got to keep making repairs on the building all year long,
you got a problem.
And you're going to lose track of your buildings.
All right, that's interesting.
I just wanted to make sure I clarified that because you did draft a solid core. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if you played that league and never went back and checked it and you were just winning.
Right, if there's no injuries, of course. But
right, that's the key on it.
Up there. I want to make sure anybody that's listening that does get into Discord or ask questions, we'll be on Saturdays throughout the season. We'll be coming on Saturdays answering, waiver wire questions or any kind of start-sit question type of things for everybody. But we need to know when you're asking those questions, if you're playing in a single quarterback league, a 2-quarterback league, super flex, those kinds of things, which you'll know what kind of league you're in. You're the one asking the question. But if we don't, we'll give you the best answer possible. And no matter what we say, because we won't even agree with each other all the time. A lot of the times, yes, but not all the time. At the end of the day, it's your team. It's your game. It's your fun. We can give you the best advice that we can.
Right.
And I've been playing for 20 years. Rob's been playing a little bit longer. Roz has a lot more depth into some of the other formats, but we've both got a lot of experience doing this. And I was laughing at him with his 30+ teams. I'm at 20 right now myself for 2021.
And I told you about my friend Michelle needs help. So Tracy's going to introduce you into Michelle. So you're going to be managing one that's in the land down under.
We're here as a resource for y'all as members. But make up your own minds, because there's nothing worse than having a gut feeling about a guy and then you go with somebody that somebody on a YouTube channel told you to go with, and you lose because you didn't trust your gut.
There you go. Corey, I'm going to ask
I think my image is backwards, but that says Team USA for Brother Roz.
No, it's right.
I was there's actually a dynasty league, the United Kingdom versus the United States. It's called the Ryder Bowl.
Right.
Last year I was number 1 in the US for weeks. I think it was week 2 and 3 or week 3 and 4. But I'm still team owner in that. I kind of had a few injuries and went downhill to no playoffs. But
let me ask you,
I did have 2 spike weeks, and you win weekly money. Mm-hmm. We donated that money back into a UK charity.
Beautiful.
So, there's things out there that's fun. But, yeah, playing the Down Under, we played a UK. There's all kinds of leagues out there.
And what we're building up in the Discord is the community aspect. You can be a fan of any team. We're just there to have fun, talk football, teach people that are just starting with fantasy football. And if you've been playing as long or longer than we have, we're here for you on that too. And of course, Cowboys news. Always Cowboys news when we come on.
Well, Corey, I want to ask you, so I know what my Sundays are like. game day. I start out the night before, probably, doing some pulled pork and everything else, and I have people come over to watch the games. But what is your day like when I'm looking at those boards with all those players? I mean, are you literally just watching the red zone? Are you watching the computer? You got Sunday Ticket? I mean, how do you keep up with all that? What is your game day like?
Well, real quick, because to clarify that question, you've missed it already. He's talking about your draft board back there. He's thinking that that's like all your teams up there behind you, Roz. That's a draft day draft board. Like when you go up to a bar and you're hanging out with a bunch of guys doing your drafts, you usually have like a sticker girl that'll go up there as picks are made. They'll put those in. That's 10 different teams right there,
right?
That you're looking at behind Roz. Now he does have 30 teams, like you touched on. And you can pick up that, but he's looking at that behind you, Ross. Something about that board behind you.
Well, okay, but here's the thing: if you do have, I mean, you guys say you got 20 or 30 teams, and they're not all exactly the same teams, so you've got to try and crunch these numbers and things. So, are you steadily got an eye on Red Zone, or do you have an eye on the Sunday Ticket, where you're literally watching every game that's going on right now, or you just wait till after the game's over and see what the numbers are?
No, damn, I can't believe I got to say this out loud, but my wife took away NFL Network. Well, she took away the Red Zone, and then NFL Network, DirecTV took that away unless you jump up the package. So
right.
In our area, we have limited choices as far as television.
Oh shit!
We're rural, so I haven't gone back to NFL Network, which means I'm stuck watching Jets or Eagles or maybe I'm lucky enough with a Steelers game.
Damn.
So I have seen the shittiest, I've seen the worst football over the last several years that you can imagine. But what I do is it goes back to my mental processes. I have feeds that are nonstop. I have a news wire. I have a scouting group. I have different, Discord things.
Uh-huh.
So I'm watching whatever random game I can and hoping that I can catch a highlight clip or something. I never miss a halftime. And yes, as far as looking at the stats, I'm nonstop actually looking at play-by-play. So I don't look at how many rushes does Zeke have. I look, what down is it? Where did they run? Was it left side, right side? Unfortunately, I have to wait for some scouting reports until maybe even Tuesday or Wednesday to see, if I saw a play and I'm like, okay, well, it seems that play worked last time. What happened this time? And then I'll find out, so-and-so keyed in on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, this year I will actually be doing myself, which in the past, again, I have a service that did it for me. But this year I'll be watching game film post games. So I'll spend the week actually just rewatching on the Game Pass. I'll watch the game film because easiest way I can explain it is Darren Sproles. I was watching him in the preseason, the year that he busted free in a preseason game. He had no business being in. And that was the beginning of his explosion. His career took off from there. So you never know what you're going to see. And what you see is not going to come out in the box score.
Gotcha. Okay. That's interesting.
But my day, as far as my fantasy teams, I might pick a random one if it matches the game I'm watching.
Uh-huh.
Once I set my lineups, well, no, that's not true. In the fourth quarter of the morning games, I'll recheck my lineups and the injury reports before the next games. Then I'll do the same thing after the evening games before the 8 o'clock game.
Right.
And then I'll do the same thing before the Monday night game. And then basically as the Monday night game about halftime hits, I will begin writing up all of the players that I'll be dropping and players that I'll be picking up across all 33 leagues.
Gotcha. Okay.
That sounds like
it's crazy. I don't know how else to say it. It's nuts.
It's a lot, but there's different levels of people that are involved with fantasy. Most of your redraft players, you're knocking that team out every year. You're starting over again the next year. When we're talking about having 20, 30 teams, a lot of those teams are smaller money leagues that, like, of my 20, we got priority teams. Like, I've got my home money league. I've got my dynasty leagues there's ones that you put priorities on, and then probably about out of my 20, 14, 15 of those, I'll go back and I'll check them, but I won't watch them closely. And it's just a volume thing. It's more, for me, it's more practice. Just the more I learn about the NFL, the better. And it's fun. I prioritize some leagues. You can't pay attention 100% to 30 leagues. So you prioritize the ones that are important to you. Not that they are all important when you got money on the line, but you've got to, the word compartmentalize, you got to do that with your teams too.
Okay. Hawk, how many Cowboy players will be in Canton? Well, the whole team will be in Canton on Thursday night for the game. We've got 3 Cowboys being inducted, and we do know that Charlie Waters is doing Cliff Harris. We know that Troy Aikman is doing Jimmy Johnson, and Roger Staubach is doing Drew Pearson. So we know that they're going to be there. With COVID and things, I don't know how many of the Gold Jacket former players will go. I remember asking Randy White when we were at the autograph signing. He said he doesn't think he's going to go this year. So will be interesting to see what happens. Roz, did you change the background or something there?
Yeah, so I just real quick, because it's actually annoying me to look at it, but this is a portion of my primary spreadsheet. And what you're looking at, it's flipped, unfortunately. Again, I got to learn how to flip my images.
I don't think it's.
But on the right side, you'll see, like, up at the top, I have 10 shares of so-and-so, 9 shares of so-and-so, 7.
It's showing right on our side, Ross.
Yeah.
All right, wherever it is. But this is just a snippet of a certain, part of the screen. But I have literally over 650 players on this sheet.
I can't keep up with that. Okay.
Now, I don't track all of them. You see the red bar?
Yeah.
That red bar would be Cam Akers. So that lets me know across all those leagues, everywhere there's a 1 in that column, that's a Cam Akers share that I just lost for the year. But all of those orange, those dark orange, those are low tier players. So, like, those are waiver wire pickups. Those are guys I can drop any given day. So that lets me immediately say, hey, I need to pick up a James Robinson, right? Sort for that team, and then boom, who's red, who's orange? Or maybe who's red, if it's not Cam Akers, who's red?
Okay.
But it simplifies the process a little bit. There we go. We're back to normal. That screen was crazy. But I might sit and look at my spreadsheet. Justin Jefferson's having a Hall of Fame game. I might come back and just double check how many shares I've got. And then look at who's having the next best game that I want to get rid of. And I'll go out and I'll trade for Justin Jefferson if I can, using that other guy. And
right.
The good thing
is different ways you do it,
So your brain doesn't hurt, Mark. You won't ever have to do that.
Just put it
the
on
ADP and the automatically generated projections and numbers on the ESPN format or Sleep or whatever you're on, for somebody that doesn't want to go as deep as a guy like Roz does, or myself at times. And Roz,
okay,
I love you, man. Wow, but yeah, we're gonna have fun. That's why we're keeping things basics. We're here as a resource because we know that we're freaks about playing the game, and everybody that's a member and playing that's just getting started probably isn't. So we're here to help answer questions. That's what the whole community this year and going forward is going to be about. Everybody helping everybody, and us being there to help kind of teach.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and wind this on down. Hopefully, if you have any other questions or things, do me. You know what actually was great after we did the last show was actually getting the text message from you about all the new people who have joined the Discord, and hopefully we end up having another little surge of people that are interested in playing in the league, because we're going to be giving away some Jobu stuff and some autographed merchandise and things like that as prizes. But more than anything else, it'll kind of begin to kind of bring us together even a little closer than what we normally have just between a regular, video and such. So final thoughts.
You've had quite a few Discord joins today. Yes.
Okay. Corey,
I've been keeping an eye on it.
Well, shout out to you, and you know what? I honestly feel bad about Aaron Rodgers' situation that you got to deal with.
I don't.
You know what you should feel bad about?
Keep a straight face.
Feel bad about the fact that they want to trade for Deshaun Watson when we have a future Hall of Famer in Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Bailoa.
But you just brought the name up. You want to talk about him in Philly?
What?
Watson?
Deshaun Watson.
You were talking about Mills being the backup to Hurts. That only happens if Hurts gets shipped down to Houston.
Yeah, I know, but the Dolphins keep coming up in the news, and that bothers me.
Well, the Dolphins can have him. We don't want him in Philly if he plays again.
Appreciate that, Hawk. Shout out to you on the Super
I'm
Chat.
sorry, but our boss here, he went and drafted Jalen Hurts the other night. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, after me having to come on and promise him that I wouldn't draft any Eagles on his team if he was doing the.
That was just a pretend team. I was trying to throw loops. Trying to throw a few loops at you guys to see how you react. Because we're trying to be a business here. Okay.
Don't throw me off any. If Philly 500's out there listening, or if Philadelphia is out there, look. I hate your team. I hate your organization. And Hurts, as far as an actual football NFL quarterback, I don't know about his long term. I believe in Hurts and his fantasy and his potential overall more than the Philly fans do. I like Hurts.
What an idiot!
But I like the underdog story too.
What an idiot! That was to break out, but we don't need a receiver. Are you kidding me? I don't want Justin Jefferson's ass. He's stupid. I fired his ass. I fired his ass. I mean, how he got to be stupid? What are you doing? You just let Dallas take him.
That clip is golden.
Yes, the classic. All right, so Roz, final thoughts?
Final thoughts I'd like everybody to take away today is that whether it's Aaron Rodgers or your own team or whatever, week 1 of training camp, the Hall of Fame stuff is just going to be all off the charts. Don't freak out about any one piece of news. Sit back, relax, get whatever you can out of it, and just enjoy the ride.
There you go. All right. D2 Stu, final thoughts?
I'm good, man. I'm excited about the season coming up. I'm really excited about your coverage of the Hall of Fame coming up. And it's fantasy football season. We're right here around the corner. I look forward to getting to meet new people in the Discord chat and see how many leagues we shake out of this. And I'm looking forward to see exactly how many special guest players are in that first league. We know Philly 500 is coming, and we'll have news about more as the next week unfolds.
Well, he doesn't want Justin Jefferson. I can guarantee you that one.
You don't have to worry about it. I'll take him for him.
All right. I appreciate you guys spending your Saturday afternoon with me, as well as our buddies and everything out here. Remember to check out the Discord channel and let them know that you want to join the league and so on. But you know how we roll.
Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is